Welcome to the Pokemon Uprising. I'm your leader, the Defiant one, aka Bisharp2Queen4, and today I'm doing the Pokemon tag video. Basically what it is just like a series of questions that I have to answer, and before I do that, I want to tag 4 people in it. I'm going to be tagging PlayRoughh, UturnCrobat, BarakiXY, and Belakxvibe. I hope all you guys have a lot of fun with this, just as much as I'm going to. But anyway, on with the questions. The first question is, why am I called Bisharp2Queen4? Well, there's no, it's not as complicated as you might think. Basically, Bisharp is a representation of a bishop, which I think is awesome. The poniards are pawns, and it has a lot of ties back into the game of chess, and a lot of it came down to saying, bishop to queen 4. That's a move. That is a solid move. And then I was just why not put Bisharp in it? It's much more simplistic than you would like to know, but I will tell you one thing to make up for that lackluster story. I'm going to say that most people don't know, but Toxicroak was almost my mascot. I can't even speak today. Almost my mascot, and I'm surprised that I didn't. It came down to 2 Pokemon that I was just I haven't seen anybody use, and it was Toxicroak or Bisharp, and I chose Bisharp because I just love its design, and I could just base so many things around it, my intro and everything. It was just great. So let's get on to the second question. How old are you, and what are your first memories of Pokemon? Okay, well, I might not sound like it, I might not act like it, I'm 20 years old. I have been on this earth for 2 decades, and my first memories of Pokemon, I remember when I was 4 or 5, and at the time, the game has already been out for about 2 years, but I really started, I used to see the Pokemon anime on television, and I really enjoyed it, and I really wanted to get the games. As soon as I found out there were video games for it at, the local video shop, they used to rent them out, I wanted it, and at the time, my parents didn't have, a whole lot of money or anything, but they managed to get me a Game Boy Pocket and a copy of Pokemon Blue, even though the game was 2 years old, 2 years away from Gold and Silver being released, but I didn't know that at the time. But I remember going through the game, when I first picked my starter, I was just, in awe over all of the Pokemon that were there. And I picked Squirtle. Squirtle was my choice. I looked through all of them. I thought Charmander was kind of cool, Bulbasaur was kind of cool, but for some reason, Squirtle really stood out to me. I picked Squirtle, and Squirtle was just, such a huge part of my childhood, and to this day, he's still one of my favorite Pokemon that I've ever, had in my party. Ever. He's just so great. And when he evolved into Blastoise, I just lost my shit. And I think one of my most fond memories is when I got past Brock's gym, and I was fighting. I believe it was the first last, and he went to level 16, and I was just cool. I didn't know before that point that Pokemon could evolve. So when he evolved into Wartortle and became so much more powerful, it blew my fucking mind. It was just the greatest, and I just completely destroyed everybody after that. And I just got through Mount Moon. I remember when I was playing through the game the very first time, I didn't know that you could go and get Flash, and that was a big deal because I made my way through the rock tunnel at 4 years old, completely blind, because back then there wasn't even a little spot to show where you were. You kind of just had to feel your way through it, and it took me a long time to actually get through it. Mostly because I didn't have Flash, I didn't know where I was going for the life of me, and I was only 4, so I managed. I beat the game in, I can't remember how many hours, but it took me a little while, even though, I was really young, but I enjoyed it, I had a lot of fun, and to this day, I'll still kick back and play Blue or Red. I finished a Red Let's Play just recently, and you'll see that on the channel. But it was just so much fun. Let's move on to the next question. What was your first Pokemon game? Well, I just elaborated all that. Blue was my first Pokemon game, but I really consider the original second-gen games more so. They weren't chronologically my first, but I just, Pokemon Gold I received. I just, it opened up so much of the world to me, and it had so much more replay value for me, and I played it so many times. I spent so many countless hours in it. I must have been hundreds and hundreds of hours that I placed into that game, and that's something that I didn't really do with Blue because it wasn't fully developed, not as much as what Gold and Silver were at the time, and it was just a lot of fun for me. But other than that, chronologically, it was Blue. In my heart, it's Gold. But anyway, next question. What does Pokemon mean to you? There's no simple way to segue into that, whatsoever. Pokemon has been a part of my life for such a long time now. I started playing when I was 4 years old. At around the age of 12, it stopped being popular in my school, and a lot of people used to make fun of you if you played games like that if you were 12. So between the ages of 12 to 16, Pokemon was no longer that much of a part of my life anymore, and that was because I was so afraid of what people might say. And then back in grade 12, back when when I was about to turn 17, for some reason it was just popular again amongst people that I grew up with, and it was really strange, and I don't understand why, but it just it caught fire yet again, and it was like our childhood all over again. It was so much fun. And then I graduated, and I didn't play Pokemon all that much for a little while, and then one of my friends, who was my age, I met him while I was at university, and he had a 3DS, and I asked him if I could give it a shot, because I never played the 5th gen games. The 4th gen games were the last ones I played. So he had Pokemon Black, I do believe, so I picked it up and played it for a little while. It wasn't as great as the old games. It didn't have the same kind of nostalgic feel like the other games did, but it was nice to be able to play Pokemon again and not feel like I was going to get judged for it, and it meant so much to me. And then that Christmas, for the first time in 4 or 5 years, I knew what I wanted for Christmas. I asked for a 3DS with a copy of Pokemon X, and I got Pokemon X, and it's just rekindled my love for Pokemon just so much, and I was so glad about it. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. There's so much more that I could go in depth as to why I love Pokemon, but then that would lead into my channel chronologically, go from Pokemon X, and then it led into my channel that happened later on. But that's more so for the next question. But what Pokemon meant to me, I invested so many countless hours into it. It was so much fun. I played right on through. I never had a DS. But I did play 4th gen because both of my little brothers had DSs, and one of them had Diamond, one had Pearl, and one of them also got Platinum later on, and they got Heart Gold and Soul Silver later. So I played those as well. I never played through the full games, but I did play them. I did play a nice bit of them. It was just nice to know that such a huge part of my childhood is still a part of who I am today, and it's grown on me, and I've adapted to the world in a sense, but I'm still kind of a man-child, I guess. I'm still kind of a man-child. Maybe I'm just clinging on to some childlike dreams, but who cares? I mean, I just love the games. It's just so much fun for me. Let's go on to the next question. Why have you made this channel? Okay, years ago, back when I first got introduced to YouTube, I think it was back in 2005, maybe. 2005. I saw a channel called UberHaxnerNova. I thought his videos were hysterical. I loved them. They were fucking hilarious. He was a really nice guy. He made me laugh a lot. I liked him a lot more than PewDiePie. I saw him too, but I didn't really take to him as much as I took to UberHaxnerNova. And so he was kind of the initial seed placed in my brain. So anyways, I watched so much YouTube, and gaming kind of dropped off for a little while, and then I picked it up again. And when I came back to YouTube, looking at gaming videos and things like that, or anything revolving around games, I stumbled across Egoraptor, and he seemed to have so much fun with it, and he seemed to be so down to earth, and he'd have a blast making all these animated shorts, and eventually he made the channel Game Grumps, and I really love Game Grumps, even though to this day, I find that their quality has declined a little bit, but every now and again I'll watch their videos, and it'll give me a good chuckle. But that was that. So I decided after Game Grumps and Egoraptor and everything, I wanted to make a YouTube channel, but I didn't. Mostly because I didn't know what the hell to do. I didn't know what I wanted to put on my channel. I didn't know what games I wanted to play. I didn't know what I was going to call my channel. Didn't know anything. But then, I think it was after January, it's I'm near the end of January, I stumbled across Shady Penguin. Shady Penguin had so much energy. His commentary was fantastic. He was a really nice guy. He's really humble and down to earth, and he just seemed to be growing at such a rapid rate, and he had so much fun playing Pokemon, and we're around the same age, and it really influenced me because I thought that my commentary, I could do a good job. I'm a good I'm a good public speaker. I can speak. Some people just tell me to shut up a lot of the time because I talk way too much, but that's a good thing for these cases. But, that's when it really struck me, how much I love Pokemon tied back into, what I really wanted, for my channel, and I was so excited for that. And, so, I kind of spent some time trying to figure it out, what I wanted to do, what I wanted to name my channel and everything. And around April, I finally came up with a name. My channel evolved. My very first 3 videos, I think it was, I did Pokemon Blue. Never had any graphic editing. I used my shitty laptop mic that was in there at the time. Sounded like I was talking into a tin can, and it was absolutely horrid. So I removed those videos, and then I started off with a Pokemon Fire Red randomizer Nuzlocke. Those videos aren't on the channel, but a lot of, like, my channel has evolved over time, and gradually I'll remove some videos because I feel like they're not up to snuff. Some people say that I should just leave them there so people can see how far that I've come along since then. But I'm afraid that since they have more views, they would draw more attention to the bad videos and people won't stay. So as I go along, I kind of just try and clean up my channel for anything that isn't really view-worthy. But yeah, this game has meant so much to me. And I really wanted to make a gaming channel. And it just seemed like so much fun. It seemed like it would just be a blast to interact with so many random people. Like, I met so many amazing friends. Like, and I will never forget any of them, really, as long as I live. Like, these people are just phenomenal people to be around. They're so nice. And some of the nicest people I've ever met, I've met through YouTube. And I could give a shout out to so many people, but I don't want to miss anybody. Yeah, like, it's just been the experience. The experience is great. I mean, some people do this for fame, some people do it for fortune, some people just do it for the sake of doing it. I did it because I wanted to make people entertained. I wanted to make them happy. I wanted to meet people. I wanted to interact. I wanted to be a part of this community, a part of a gaming community that I've loved so much over the years. And I feel like I could offer my own knowledge and my commentary and my entertainment value to the mix. And hopefully one of these days it'll grow to a point where I'll be a recognized name. Not because I want fame, I want fortune, but because I want people to know that, like, I'm out there reaching out to them to communicate with them. And I'm free to talk to, like, whenever. You can just approach me. Like, I'm cool. I'm the same person, like, all the time. I'm the same person. But yeah, that's pretty much why I made the channel. It's a really long explanation, but last question. What can you expect? Well, I mean, the channel hasn't been growing at a really rapid rate like I would like to, but like that's partly because I've been so inconsistent as of late, and I can understand why that would frustrate so many people, but I mean, I really hope that the channel grows. I'm going to try and set this channel off with the Voltwave Blaze Black Soul Link randomized challenge that I have going on with Demonic Kiddo. And there's also another co-op coming to the channel rather soon, actually, with Shinkuro. And that's going to be an entirely original lock idea that the two of us came up with. So you guys better be looking out for that. After that, I don't really have anything planned out that far ahead. But I think you guys should just be looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting. I'm going to try my absolute best to provide the best content that I can. And hopefully I grow, and hopefully people watch my videos. I really just want you guys to interact with me. Just comment below, comment on any of my videos, and I'll definitely respond. And I'll try my best to be a good PokeTuber and be a good person. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Like, and if you want to listen to Rebellion, all you need to do is sucker punch the subscribe button, heck, sucker punch that like button. Every little bit helps, and I'll be back with bigger and better Pokemon videos. Now don't forget, UturnCrobat, PlayRoughh, Belakxvibe, and BarakiXY. You guys are all tagged in this, and I can't wait to see your videos. Ciao!